Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Remember this thing, the Redtronome? I just did an episode on trying to tune it and I put it all back together. But before I plug it in, I need to unplug something, and I just want to give you a quick answer on what this is. This is a very early prototype of Ornament 3.0, which is for my Holiday Lights series. And so it's an idea that I had. One of my neighbors said, "Hey, couldn't you make this a kit?" I started thinking about a kit. I started thinking about what it would take to make it a kit. So that is coming up. Just the quick tease on that one. I'm going to unplug it now, move it over to the side so I can plug in the Redtronome. So the Redtronome is ready to go. Let's see if I unpause my speaker. Okay. Oops. All right. Well, it didn't exactly do what I wanted it to do. So now I'm back and it's working. So here we go. That's 8 ticks a second. That's 6 ticks a second. 4 ticks a second. That's roughly 3 ticks a second. It gets worse as I go down. That's 2 ticks a second, or actually 1 hertz. And that is the limit of what I could use my multimeter to do. So below that, I ended up with a bit of a problem, and I had trouble tuning. So I ended up with actually about 1.5 ticks per second. Or maybe I didn't. Yeah, there it is. Or a tick every 1.5 seconds. So, and then trying to get 1/2 and 1/3, which is a tick every 2 seconds or a tick every 3 seconds, is more tricky than you might think. I ultimately ended up using a stopwatch to try and time it, so it's really not going to be very accurate. But really, the main point of the metronome is the Redtronome is to be able to do this. So you can hear there's some emphasis on one of the beats. Now that's the 6 if I do the 6 and the 4, and then sync it. Every once in a while they cancel each other out. Let's try 4 and 3. So it's not an overall streaming success, but ultimately the point was you can build something and you can get kind of if you just want the single ticking like that, it's pretty reliable. And down to a certain point, you can get reasonably well tuned using a multimeter or something like that. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board to try and figure out if there's a way I can do this. Sorry about that. It gets a little bit of distracting while you're trying to talk. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board to figure out if there's a better way to do this. What I may end up doing is when I start getting into actual microcontroller-based projects, then this may be one of the early ones to do, because it lends itself very naturally to a microcontroller as long as your code is reasonably well balanced. I have noticed a lot of clock projects, the clocks tend to drift horribly, and I suspect what it is the routines that they're running on the microcontroller are not allowing it to advance exactly every second. So it's probably a second plus a couple of cycles or something like that, and over time it drifts. So, but that's that. That's the demo of this, and now I can get on to the next thing, and then soon I'll be onto the keyboard itself. Thank you so much for watching.